Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Can you hear me? I think we are about to start our parallel session. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to all presenters. I hope everyone is ready. Yeah. So my name is Professor Dr. Abdul Hadi Nawawi. I've been given the responsibility to chair this session. It's great pleasure for me to chair this session. There are actually nine presenters with very interesting topics. Yeah. Please allow me to remind all of you presenters that each presenter is given 10 minutes for your presentation, followed by 5 minutes question and answer session. I would kindly request everyone to stick to the time limit, because our time is quite limited, there are 9 presenters, so I will call each and everyone to be ready with your slide. Yeah, I think the first presenter is Dr. Tengku Nazatul Shima. Tengku Paris, are you there, Tengku Nazatul? Okay, great. So you may start to share your screen and start presenting now. So you are given 10 minutes. Thank you very much. So the screen is all yours. Yeah,
Is it?
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
great.
right.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay,
Thank you very much indeed, Prof.
Welcome.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share a paper. My friend and I have worked on principles for designing an online fuzzy Delphi validation of present perfect and present perfect progressive tasks. The study explore how the theory of variation is a learning theory that can guide the design of online grammar game questions and how this principle were validated through expert consensus using the fuzzy Delphi method. The focus is on two tenses and aspect form that are difficult for English for second language learners, which are the present perfect and present perfect progressive. Can I have the second slide, Prof? Ladies and gentlemen, English grammar remains challenging for many ESL, English for second language learners, particularly tense aspect combination that involve subtle meanings of time, duration, and relevance to the present. Relevance to the present. The present perfect and present perfect progressive are frequently confuse language learners, and they struggle to decide whether to focus on completion or experience or ongoing duration. In many classroom, grammar instruction still emphasizes rule memorization and mechanical drills, which often fail to support meaningful action.
Next slide.
All right. Although digital grammar games are increasingly used, many design them without a clear pedagogical or theoretical framework. Research and explicitly applies, we try to apply the theory of variation to grammar task design, particularly for tense aspect distinction. More importantly, there is lack of expert validated principles that can guide teachers and developers in designing effective online grammar activities. So to get motivated the present study. Can I have the slide 4? Right. The theory of variation, as I mentioned earlier, is a learning theory proposed by Martin and Sui, suggests that learning occurs when learner can discern critical features of concept. The theory identifies four main patterns, which includes contrast, generalization, separation, and fusion. Rather than teaching grammar rules in isolation, learners are exposed to systematic variation, allowing them to notice what changes and what remain constant across the examples of tenses and aspect. Can I have the next slide? In grammar learning, contrasts help learners to distinguish between similar forms such as the present perfect and the simple past. Yeah. So we also have generalization that allows learners to apply a tense or a particular tense across different contexts. And we also have separation that focuses attention on one feature at a time, such as duration using for and since. And finally, we have fusion, where we combine the two different tenses together, which requires learners to use multiple features together in communicative context. This pattern guided the design of grammar tasks in this study. Can I have the next slide? All right. To validate the proposed principle, the study employed the fuzzy Delphi method, which is suitable for obtaining consensus among experts on complex educational construct. Five experts in English as a second language learning teaching, grammar and pedagogy participated in this study. Consensus was determined using three criteria: whether the threshold value is below 0.2, and expert agreement is more than 75%, and defuzzification value is more than 0.5. Can I have this next slide? All right. The instrument was developed based on extensive literature review and the theory of variation framework. The expert evaluated principles related to contrasting example for the two tenses, highlighting the duration of time frame of both tenses, multiple varied contexts where all the tenses are introduced together for the learners to see the differences, and also repeated exposure where learners are given different question in the game where throughout the game where they will get ample exercises and exposure, and also immediate feedback in digital game. Once they play the game, once they answer each question, there will be feedback to the answer. These principles aim to support learner noticing the different tenses and have deeper understanding of the two tenses when they are used together. Can I have the slide 8? All right. The findings show a high level of expert consensus across all items. All proposed principles met the fuzzy Delphi acceptance criteria. The most highly ranked principle emphasized using like teachers, you have to use multiple varied contexts together where all the two tenses are exposed together so that the students can see the differences, and requiring learners to use both tenses together and providing repeated exposure. This suggests that expert view variation-based design as both practical and pedagogically sound. Can I have the slide 9? All right. The strong agreement among experts indicates that the theory of variation effectively addresses known learner difficulties with the present perfect and present perfect progressive. Digital grammar games are particularly suitable because they allowed structured variation, control input, and immediate feedback. For teachers and also instructional designer, these validated principle offer a clear framework for designing grammar tasks that promote understanding rather than rote learning. Can I have the last slide, please? In conclusion, the study demonstrate that the combination of the theory of variation with the fuzzy Delphi method provides a strong, expert, validated framework for grammar game design. Future research should also test the principle in classroom setting, and also measure learning outcomes empirically and extend the framework to other tense aspect form. And ultimately, grammar learning can be systematic, meaningful, and engaging when guided by sound theory and expert validation, inshallah. That's about it. That wraps up my presentation today, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much,
Back
Doctor.
to the back to Prof.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tunku Nazartul Shima, for a very interesting presentation. I would like to open the session to questions from anyone in the group. Any question from participants to Doctor? If not, I would like to ask Dr. Nazartul Shima one question. Actually, what is your main aim of your research? Actually, eventually, what we would like to develop, a
All right.
game or a guideline or what?
All right, Prof. At the very beginning, when we have been using the grammar book, right, throughout our teaching, and we find out that there's an isolation when they teach tenses. There's an isolation. They start with perhaps a present tense first, followed by past tense, followed by present progressive. Throughout the years, I could see that the learners, once they learn present tense, they will forget about present progressive.
Mm,
Okay, so there is this theory that I have found interesting, the theory of variation, where it suggests us to introduce all the tenses together using the four elements:
mm.
contrast, generalization,
Mm,
separation, and fusion. When all the elements
mm,
are used together in the game,
mm,
the student will be able to get the grasp of the different tenses. All
mm,
right, and inshallah, they won't forget the tenses.
mm.
Once they are exposed with present tense, present past tense, present progressive.
So eventually, you're coming up with a design, syllabus design that actually will facilitate this to happen. That's
Yes, indeed, Prof.
mm. So at the moment, do we have this kind of guideline or?
Okay, it's a learning theory. Yeah, the learning theory is designed by Martin and Booth, 1997. It is still there, and many educators have started to use the learning theory, Prof, to design the teaching material.
Mm, mm.
Actually, we have already what we call that we have already developed games
Mhm,
using the learning theory, and
mhm.
the game has been used to UITM Pahang students throughout from semester 1 to
Yeah,
semester 4.
yeah. But it's not compulsory, right? It's
Yes,
optional. But
but they
maybe,
have to know the basic, Prof,
oh yeah,
in
that's right.
order to write well, speak
Yeah.
well. That's the least that we can do as an educator.
So what's your future plan?
Future plan, okay, I have already developed the game on present tense, present progressive, and past tense, and the future plan is to develop game based on the tense, based on present perfect tenses, the most difficult tenses for the student. That's my future plan, Prof.
Oh, great, great. So all the best, Dr. Tengku. Any question from, maybe you can have one question from the participant. Just feel free to ask questions. It's a very interesting topic. If there is no question, thank you again, Dr. Nazatushima, for your very interesting presentations. I wish you all the best in your future work. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Most
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. So may we proceed to the doctor? Can you unshare? Oh, that's good. Can we proceed to the next presenter, which is Chen Zi? Yeah, the topic aesthetic integration in children's calligraphy.
Yes.
Just an expert's perspectives. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chen Zi.
Yes,
So,
Professor, can you hear me?
yeah, sure, loud and clear.
Thank you. Okay, we start. My research entitle is aesthetic integration in children's calligraphy, teachers and experts' perspectives. And this presentation is based on a quantitative study, drawing on semi-structured interview with primary school teachers and calligraphy education experts in China. The study explores how aesthetic education can be meaningful embedded into children's calligraphy learning rather than treating calligraphy merely as a technique writing skill. Okay, let's remove. The research background. In many primary school classrooms, calligraphy teaching remains highly technique-oriented. Students spend a large amount of time repeating strokes, copying models, and practicing structure. However, this strong emphasis on technique drills often results in insufficient attention to aesthetic experience, cultural meaning, and social context. And at this level, documents such as those issued by the Chinese Ministry of Education of the People's Republic of China and UNESCO emphasize the importance of aesthetic education and the cultural heritage transmission. This mismatch between classroom practice and the educational goals from the background of this study. So this is the background. And okay, the core research gap is clear. Technique drills do not automatically lead to aesthetic literacy. So while children may learn how to write correctly, they often lack the ability to appreciate, interpret, and emotionally connected with calligraphy as an art form. Therefore, this study aims to develop a new calligraphy teaching model inspired by curator and aesthetic education principles, specifically designed for children aged 9 to 12. The goal is to integrate skills, aesthetics, and cultural understanding into one coherent pedagogical framework. So this research from the Chinese tradition, calligraphy education has long been structured around the 临摹背写, and the 临摹背写 is copying, tracing, memorizing, and writing. These methods emphasize discipline, accuracy, and heritage transmission. In contrast, the Western art education places greater emphasis on creativity, expression, and interdisciplinary learning, often treating writing as a version or conceptual practice. So the literature suggests that while Chinese calligraphy education is culturally rich, it faces risks of formalization and marginalization in contemporary schooling. So this highlights the need of innovative approaches that return cultural depths while enhancing aesthetic engagement. So based on the experts' insights, this is my semi-structured interview data. Based interviews with experts consistently point to the urgent need for structured calligraphy teaching model that address the aesthetic education. So experts emphasize that many teachers lack sufficient aesthetic and cultural literacy, so which limits their ability to move beyond the instruction. So they also stressed that calligraphy should be understood not only as a classroom subject, but also as a form of intangible cultural heritage. So from the expert's perspective, aesthetic education is not an option addition. It is central to the educational value of calligraphy. So this is the expert's insight. And from the teacher's insights, teachers, on the other hand, share the insights grounded in daily classroom practice. They described using strategies such as posture training, structure exercise, and basic operation activities, while also facing practical challenges, including limited class time, exam pressure, and parental expectations. So to increase student engagement, teachers often rely on festivals, exhibitions, and competitions, which provide the children with a sense of purpose and achievement. So these perspectives reveal both the potential and the constraints of aesthetic integration in real teaching contexts.
Sorry, Kenzie, you have 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. So by combining expert and the teacher's perspective, they here have three key founding images. The first is show the recognition of the need of the balance. And the second, the calligraphy plays an important role in shaping children's cultural identified. And the last one, as a curriculum structure and the teacher preparation remain significant barriers that must be addressed systematically. And strategies for integration, this include module design to augment different learning levels, like cross-curricular technology, teacher support, and interaction. This task and guide to development of this module, and recommendations is a four aspect: curriculum reform, teaching training, and participants, and the use of VR or AI. So in conclusion, this study demonstrated that a well-designed calligraphy teaching model has strong potential to support children's aesthetic literacy, cultural understanding, and artist sensitive by integrating calligraphy, aesthetic education, and cultural heritage. Calligraphy teaching can move beyond the repetition toward the meaningful cultural learning. So future research may further test this model through classroom implementation and longitudinal studies. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shinzi, for a very interesting presentation.
Sorry.
Uh, Thank you. I would like to open the session for question.
Thank you. Okay.
Anyone would like to ask Kenzi a
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
Very interesting topic. Anyone?
Hi, Zanzi.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Doctor.
Okay, I am so impressed with your dedication, to promote calligraphy to students.
Yeah.
I've been wondering whether there are some would there be or would there any difficulties at the beginning when you introduce calligraphy to students? Were they open to it? Were they excited to learn it or to apply it?
Uh, in fact, I already designed this module, the integration about our cultural literacy. So we use the cross, sorry, like I use this like a cross curricular and teacher support to let the student learn. Why I put the aesthetic education into the calligraphy teaching class? Uh, because now the class is focused on the technique. That's why is lack of aesthetic thinking. So we should combine the cultural literacy and some like the beauty of the lines, the beauty of strings or something from the calligraphy to let the student learn. That's my answer.
Thank you, Zanzi.
Thank you, Kenzi. Very interesting.
Thank you, thank you.
Any more question from the participants? Maybe I would like to ask one question. This is a small question. You said, the Western, they're more creative, is it? Why is this so? And how can we promote creativity among students in China?
Um, Before this, therefore, because of competition and exhibition, so parents push the student have a get like a award or something. So the teacher maybe knowing the parents there's needs. So they also focus. I mean, most of them to focus on how to write stand or classical. So sometimes it's lack of aesthetic, but recent years, our government and the Ministry of Education noticed this problem. So they also put some document, place document to let this teacher and the school pay attention to the aesthetic education. That's why. So I think already become maybe say a problem about this
It's
because
good.
still focused on the ski drills. But the calligraphy is the art. We also should know the aesthetic about of this art, and the calligraphy had a long history and
Yeah.
many years. So we also need to know the cultural, the literacy, and should our kids know about that,
Yeah.
right? So that's why I
Awareness. Yeah. Thank you.
thank you,
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Lindsay. Very interesting
thank you,
presentation. Thank you.
thank you,
All the
Professor.
best to you in your
Thank
future
you.
research. May we
Prof,
invite?
Prof, it has been
Yeah.
rescheduled. The third presenter has been rescheduled. So you
Oh,
go to the fourth presenter.
presenter. Yeah. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
So thank you, Prof. Can we move on to the fourth presenter, Dr. Siti Fairuz, Muhammad Hashim, with the title Visual Content Analysis in Art and Design, a case study of Malaysia's National Day logo. Yeah.
Okay, hi Prof.
Hi, Dr. Siti. May
Okay,
start.
okay, I share my slide. Okay, Assalamualaikum and hi, good morning. Okay, my name is Siti Fairuz binti Mat Ashir. Okay, today I will be presenting a paper entitled Visual Content Analysis in Art and Design, a case study of Malaysian National Day logo. Okay, this study I focus to how National Day logo can be analyzed with a systematic and design-oriented way to using Malaysian National Day logo as a case study. Okay, the study aimed to explore a methodological approach for examining visual object through the design lens. Okay, the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, Malaysian National Day logo were selected as a case study for several reasons. First, the annual national visual artifact. That's this logo are annual national visual artifact that represent a national identity value. Okay, second, that logo carry like a symbolic culture and significance. And third, because that logo are produced consistently, designed over the time, started from 1976 to last year, and they are suitable for longitudinal analysis to observe change and evolution in visual element. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, in terms of methodological, the study adopt a qualitative design research. Okay, the analysis based on WoS visual content analysis framework. Okay, others originally developed for social research. WoS framework provide a clear and systematic analysis procedure. Okay, this study adapt the framework to emphasize logic and allowing visual artifact to be examined in terms of both visual structure and interpretive meaning. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, the analytical procedure follow a structure sequence on the step. This include image selection first, and then image preparation, visual coding, and interpretive. All the selection by the WoS 2016 framework. Okay, all the selection logo were standardized during the preparation stage to ensure that consistency and compatibility across cases. Okay, this systematic procedure important because it enhances transparency and replicability, which are often challenged in visual analysis within art and design research. The next slide, please. Okay, this slide presents the core methodological contribution of the study, which is the adapted theoretical visual framework, referred to as the layer plus flow framework. Okay, we started with the design principle. For the first layer, focus on the color, typography, composition, shape, and symbolism. The second layer focus on contextual factor, which is include the historical period, political climate, public reception, and media distribution. Okay, and the third layer is about the method from the WoS visual content analysis. There are 4 steps from WoS: selection, preparation, coding, and interpretation. And then the center is a dual layer coding process that combine formal visual element and the interpretive meaning. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, these are the key finding for the research. Okay, the finding reveal a clear evolution in the visual strategy across different decades. Okay, so you can see the different design for the National Day logo. Okay, yearly logo 1976 to 1986 tend to display complex composition and static visual form. Okay, over the time, this design gradually evolved toward more simplified, dynamic, visual, refined composition. So you can see the 1995 to 2020 logo, more to simple and dynamic design logo. This is also a notable shift from traditional element to more modern visual language, reflecting change into both design practice and national communication strategies. Okay, move to the next slide. Okay, beyond the visual evolution, the analysis also identify in the design priorities. Okay, first, the early design were largely emphasize visual form and composition. And the later period, there is a stronger emphasis on slogan, lead, and a message-driven visual. Okay, but the political message and public perception increase the national visual identity is construct and evaluate. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this discussion, the findings suggest that national logo function as a dynamic text rather than static symbol. Visual identity is continuously shaped by socio-political context, public discover, and design decision. The important is the study it demonstrates that meaning is not only derived from the symbolic interpretation, but is actively shaped through visual structure, composition, and design logic. The next slide, please. Okay, contribution to the art and design research. In terms of contribution or the study of methodological significance to the art and design research. Okay, the proposed layer flow framework refine visual content analysis by explicitly integrating design principle and contextual dimension into the analytical process. Okay, the design oriented approve enhanced analytical visual, transparency, and replicability. Okay. Moreover, the framework is transferable and may be applied to other logo studies or the national identity research or the border visual communication context of beyond of Malaysia. The last slide, please. Okay, in conclusion, Malaysian National Day logo reflect evolving the national identity through the deliberate visual strategy. Okay, this study demonstrates that a systematic design-oriented visual analysis method provide a deeper insight into how visual identity is constructed and communicated over the time. Okay, the adapted framework contribute to strengthening methodological practice in art and design research. That's all, and thank you for very much for your attention. And I will come to any question and comment.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Siti Fairoz. Very interesting presentation from Art and Design School, I suppose. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, art and design.
I'd like to open for question. Anyone like to ask question to Dr. Siti Fairoz? Very interesting topic. If there is no question, may I ask you one question?
Okay, Prof.
How useful is your framework actually for agencies in future when they're trying to evaluate a logo and things like this?
It started from the WoS framework when I study about the whole logo for 1976 to the last year. So there are a lack of element based on design element. So that's from the lacking of that element, I can build the framework based on the WoS.
Yeah.
So in our design, the important element of the to analyze something design is about an element and principle of design. So
Yeah.
I put the element to the framework.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But there is one interesting point you highlighted just now where there's politics and also
Yes,
the public concern.
yes. When we study about the National Day logo, there's a 1 year 2015 we have a controversy about the logo because
Yeah.
the political issue.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So from that issue, we create that the political maybe one of the element to
Yeah.
discuss about that logo, but that design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, oh.
That's great, actually. Yeah. Maybe you can come up with guideline, or maybe
Yeah,
in
okay,
future AI. AI
maybe, maybe.
evaluate.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Doctor. So we will now proceed with the next presenter, who is Huang Junliang. Huang Junliang. The title of the presentation is Knowledge Mapping and Dynamic Frontiers of Zhuang Brocade Research, a bibliometric analysis based on viewer. So, Junliang, you can start sharing your screen now.
Okay, wait a second.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My
Morning.
name is Huang Juliang, and it is my great honor to present our latest research, knowledge mapping and dynamic frontier of strong broker research, or metric analysis based on WoS-Viewer. And Strong Broker is a significant and tangible cultural heritage of the Strong people, embodies profound ethnic memory, artistic wisdom, and immense cultural, aesthetic, and historical value. However, uh, academic inquiry has largely centered on isolate cultural interpretation and symbolic analysis, lacking a systematical examination of the file as a whole. This is obscure our understanding of its knowledge framework, evolutionary trajectory, and true frontier direction. Therefore, his study aimed to employ bibliometry method to construct a knowledge map of his domain. We seek to review its internal structure, analyze its developmental stage, and ultimately identify the interdisciplinary dynamic frontier that will propel its future growth. Our research rests on the three pillars: bibliometry analysis, the WoS-Viewer visualization software, and the theoretical framework of cultural ecology. All data was sourced from the China National Knowledge Infrastructure, it also called CNKI. Through systematic retrieval and cleaning, we obtain a final sample of 6,018 volume documents, from which we extract 1,525 keywords and 553 authors. We focus our analysis on three dimensions. First, the keyword co-occurrence network to identify research themes and knowledge structures. Second, the temporal evolution map to track shifts in research priorities. Third, the author collaboration network to analyze scholarly collaboration patterns. Our analysis revealed distinct patterns. The keyword density visualization, figure 1, shows the core of research remains densely focused on inheritance, intangible cultural heritage, and ethnic culture, forming a foundational bedrock. Keywords like cultural and creative product and innovative design for developmental zones, indicating a turn toward applications in the emerging periphery. We see the nascent presence of technology related themes like artificial intelligence and digitalization, signaling future direction of integration. The temporal overlap map, figure 2, further confirms this trend. Research evolution is clearly demarcated into 3 phases: a descriptive ethnographic phase of cultural documentation prior to 2010, and interpretive phase of symbolic and aesthetic analysis from 2010 to 2018, and the current phase since 2018, characterized by innovative interdisciplinary application in design and digitalization. This evolution aligns closely with national policy like rural revitalization and global technological waves. Through keyword co-occurrence network analysis, figure 3, we distill the complex knowledge structure into 3 interacting subsystems: the cultural ontology subsystem, a core Guangxi, strong broadcast, ISH, the social development subsystem bridging tradition and contemporary society, each rural revitalization, cultural and creative design, and the technological empowerment subsystem, representing the driving force of the future. Each digitalization, artificial integration. However, analysis of the author collaboration network, figure 4, exposes a critical bottleneck. While small, tightly connected research cluster exists, the file overall suffer from fragmentation of cooperation. Substantive collaborative link between high-yield authors across institutions and most critically across disciplines remain very limited, constraining foundational methodological innovation. Tracking the most recent keywords, we identify the most promising frontier: a dual drive model combining artificial intelligence, technological engine, and semiotical theoretical depth. This marks a profound paradigm shift from interpreting traditional culture to creating contemporary volume. In conclusion, our core findings are: 1, a strong broadcast research has formed a triadic interactive system of culture, society, technology. 2, its evolution follow a clean 3-stage path: documentation, interpretation innovation. Third, the primary constraint is insufficient interdisciplinary collaboration, creating barriers to innovation. Accordingly, we propose 4 recommendations. 1. Establish cross-plan for mechanism to foster regular dialogue and cooperation among cultural scholars, technologists, and designers. 2. Consolidate a digital foundation by developing a digital archive repository and a 3D patent gene bank for drone broadcast. 3. Explore intelligent application through pioneering research in AI-assisted design, use experiencing optimization and regulate topic. 4. Expand integration pathway by actively incorporating drone broadcast into model industry like fashion and cultural tourism. Our vision is to establish a multidisciplinary collaborative innovation ecosystem for drone broadcast research, driving the creative transformation and innovative development of this traditional culture in the digital age, hereby contributing to the dynamic safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage. Thank you for your attention. Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Jun Liang. Very interesting presentation. May I invite any question from the floor?
Okay.
Anyone like to ask question? Please feel free. Or may I ask you, Jun Liang, one question? Why do you choose Zhuang broadcast?
Because I am drone people. I'm from China, Guangxi province. So I know the drone broadcast, and I thought the drone broadcast culture is losing, especially the teenager. They don't know the drone broadcast. So I want to revive the culture and let me people know the drone broadcast culture is also beauty. It's my arm.
Yeah. So your area, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I choose the drone broadcast.
Yeah. How do you think future generations can benefit from your research? How can they benefit from your findings?
Benefit from my finding. I thought. Give me a minute, Professor.
It's okay.
I need to start. Benefit.
How can people use your finding?
Just like if as government, I will track the drone broadcast evolution, historical, how it development, what element affect the drone broadcast development. I can keep discussion more depth. So I can give advice to the government or some scholar. They can follow my idea.
Yeah.
And
apply it. Yeah.
Apply.
Yeah.
Essential to government.
Yeah. Essential to the government policy.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Julia.
Thank you, Professor.
Maybe one last question, small question. You mentioned AI just now, artificial intelligence. You mentioned artificial intelligence in one of your slides. Technology, artificial intelligence.
Many essay about John Brockett. I searched by CNKI.
Yeah.
And many authors they also using the AI to help how to review the John Brockett patterns.
Yeah.
It is I thought it is useful
Yeah.
for development of John Brockett or the patterns.
Yeah, great. So you can complement the AI. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Thank you very much, Jun Liang, for your very interesting presentation. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor.
May I invite the next presenter, Dr. Nur Fadilah Hanim Hussein, with a topic retirement planning behavior. Is that right? Retirement planning behavior of young Malaysian employees with savings intention as mediator. Very interesting topic. So you may share your screen now, Doctor. Okay. Yeah. Retirement planning behavior. Very important topic.
Alright, okay, Assalamualaikum. Very good morning to all of the respected audience, especially our Prof. And this is a paper from me, myself, Nur Fadilah Hani Hussein, Dr. Huina Rosnan, Dr. Kenita Putri, and also Dr. Suryana Ramli. Titled, Retirement Planning Behavior of Young Malaysian Employees with Savings Intention as the Mediator. Alright, so first we go to the introduction. It's actually Malaysian young adults lack adequate retirement planning behavior. Only 33% of active EPF members have 240,000 ringgit in basic savings of 2022. This indicating most Malaysians lack sufficient retirement funds from EPF 2020. And it's become the retirement is evolving globally to align with economic realities from Gallagher-Losada et al. 2022. All right, we go to the research background and problem statement. Phase one, we see for the financial literacy gap is actually 61% of Malaysians struggle to save 1,000 ringgit for emergency. It's revealed a financial literacy deficit by Bank Negara Malaysia 2024. Also, is an alarming issues by having an EPF crisis, employee provident funds amounting 71% of active EPF contributors age 55 and below live below the poverty line. Is accounting nearly 3.6 million members had balances under 1,000 ringgit in November 2021. And this is because the low earnings, accounting to 82% of private sector workers earn less than 5,000 ringgit per month. This data provided by the OSM, contributing to the retirement crisis. Okay, this study is actually wants to examine the social-cultural factors affecting young adult retirement planning behavior in Malaysia's F&B industry, focusing on how subjective norms and perceived behavior control affect the long-term financial planning. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that we go to the research objective and also the research questions. So this study is actually wants to investigate the relationship between the spending style, financial literacy awareness, and also towards the retirement planning behavior among the young adults in the F&B services industry. Also want to investigate the mediator role of savings intention between the spending style, financial literacy awareness towards the RPB, which is retirement planning behavior among the young adults in the F&B services industry. For the research questions, this research wants to look at what is the relationship between the retirement planning behavior, spending style, financial literacy awareness, and does the savings intention mediate the relationship between them among the young adults in the F&B industry. Okay, next we go to the literature review. Firstly, we go to the retirement planning behavior, which is actually constructing a financial plan, including investing, savings, and asset allocation for senior years from Kagan 2023. This requires disciplined spending and balancing short-term costs with long-term stability. For the second one, we go to spending style. It's actually the cultural prestige and social approval often outweigh the retirement savings. It's actually young Malaysians face debt from education loan, automobiles, and property, limiting the retirement savings from Mustafa et al. 2023. And the most important thing is about the financial literacy awareness. It is actually a skills for using and managing money, including budgets and financial planning from CIVA 2024. Digital financial literacy is greatly influences purchasing decisions and also the retirement preparation. And the mediator in this research is savings intention. It's actually about individuals' goal to achieve financial stability and prepare for the unexpected expenses from Ericsson et al. 2025. It is strongly influenced by social factors in the Malaysian context. Our respected audience, this is the conceptual framework which is adopted from the theory of planned behavior by the Ericsson 1985. And this framework is actually wants to examine how spending style and financial literacy awareness influence the retirement planning behavior with the savings intention as the potential mediator. So this model is actually wants to test direct and also the indirect relationship between the independent variables, spending style and also the financial literacy awareness, and together with the mediator, savings intention, and the dependent variable, RPB, which is retirement planning behavior among the young adults, employees in the F&B services industry in Malaysia. Okay, next we go to the methodology. For the research design, this research is actually using the quantitative and cross-sectional approach, gathering data simultaneously from participants, generalizable to large samples of young Malaysian employees. And the population and sample used in this research was the purposive and also the quota sampling, targeting the Klang Valley and F&B employees aged 25 to 34, and focusing on the Petaling and Klang for significant young adult populations. For the data collection, the primary data collected using structured questionnaires and also self-administered paper surveys, and the target of location for this research is actually malls, featuring restaurants and food establishments. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the research findings. This research using SPSS and also Smart PLS software for doing the data analysis. There is no missing values due to the required Google form responses used in this research. So we look at the R-squared. It's actually spending style, FLA, financial literacy awareness, and savings intention predict 56.2% of variance in retirement planning behavior. This shows the moderate to high explanatory power. And if we look at the savings intention, the predictors explains only 65.5% of the variance in savings intention, demonstrating a strong explanatory power and excellent predictive accuracy. Okay, now we go to significance testing analysis result. And as we can see here, only the hypothesis 2 is supported. Okay, we go one by one. Hypothesis 1, which is spending style to RPB, is not supported and have a very weak correlation. If we can see here, the p-value is below than 0.05. Spending style may not directly affect the retirement preparation among the adults. Okay, we go to the only one that supported the hypothesis, financial literacy awareness towards the RPB, has a significant influences. It shows that financial awareness promotes retirement planning behaviors among the young people, which we can see here the p-value is less than 0.05. And the H3A, this research wants to look on the savings intention as the mediator. And both H3A and H3B has no significant indirect effect at all, which p-value shows more than 0.05. It proves that savings intention does not mediate the relationship between the financial literacy awareness, spending style towards the RPB. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we go to discussion. The first one is we discuss on the spending style and RPB. There is no significant impact found. So that is the intention behavior gap, such as control factors like spending style may not directly affect future behavior without solid foundation in long-term financial planning. But control with the financial literacy towards the RPB, there is significant positive effect, which the p-value is less than 0.05. It proves that financial understanding has a significant impacts on proactive retirement planning, and the finance-savvy individuals must be realized. Retirement security needs early savings and diversification. And for the mediated service intention, there is no mediation effect at all towards expenditure and also the financial literacy awareness, which shows that young F&B workers are struggle to save despite intentions due to unstable income, increase in living costs, and also having a very limited retirement plans, highlighting the intention behavior gap. So in a sum, while the TPB, the theory plan of behavior, ties purpose to behavior, it actually overlooks the contextual and structural barriers that prevent young workers from translating savings intention towards the actual retirement planning actions. Okay, dear respected audience, now we go to the conclusions and also the recommendations. So the key takeaways for the conclusion is actually managing psychological and structural factors can create more successful financial security programs. Hence, contextualize financial behavior theories to Malaysian cultural and also economic variables. Furthermore, early and ongoing financial education is very crucial, especially in high turnover industry like F&B services. Okay, we go to the further recommendation might be used for the future research. For the theoretical adaptation might be TPB should see the cultural and also the developmental circumstances in Malaysia. For the maybe we can adjust a little bit of the TPB. And the second one, for the behavior investigation, the mediators could be examined by including the financial stress, self-efficacy, and social influence, especially affected for the young adults employees in the F&B services industry. And could be in the future research, this research could be expanded by include the diverse industry beyond the F&B and regions beyond the Klang Valley for generalizability. So I think that is all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nur Fadilah. Very interesting presentation. It's a very important one as well. I'd like to give opportunity to the participants to ask questions on this topic. Very interesting. So maybe I can ask one question, Doctor.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, I saw there is very interesting finding. You mentioned about financial awareness is very important, right?
Yeah, correct.
So the knowledge about managing your personal finance is very important.
Yep.
I'm sure with that knowledge, they are able to plan for their retirement. So why still their savings intentions fail despite the knowledge?
All right, thank you very much for that question, Prof. It's very interesting questions actually, and I'm attracted to this title, this topic is because of this. All right, I go to the young adults who age 25 to 34. They are actually having the intentions to having proper retirement plannings, having a proper savings, but the commitments on their life. They know about the financial literacy, but the financial literacy awareness is still lacking among them. So they have the intention to save, but due to the limitation of the student's loan, the commitments due to the living costs, because of I'm doing in the urban area, in the Klang Valley itself. So the commitment of themselves is actually very high, even though they are doing contract. Contract is not permanent job, is very low earners actually. The salary is very low. If we talk about the F&B workers, the salary is very low among them. That is why, even though they have savings intention, they have obstacles. Yeah, they have the obstacles to have a proper savings.
Yeah, so it's quite concerning, isn't it? It's a big concern to us. So may I ask you what can the policymakers do actually to assist the young, the younger groups?
All right. All right. Thanks again for that question, Prof. I think if we put the more awareness towards the teenagers, young adults, especially, right? They already have the financial literacy. They have the knowledge about how to save, how to put aside the money, but how to manage it well, the awareness, how they can manage their budget actually for monthly savings, for monthly expenses. They need to have the priorities, even though currently the political matters, the government already have put the percentage 20, 30, 40, but they still cannot contribute to the savings because of the commitment of lives. It's actually we need to know the limitations of the budget itself.
Yeah.
So I think the awareness that government should show, or the educators or the policymakers need to create more awareness. If you spend like this, how will that affect your future? That is very important, because sometimes the young adults do not see. They think they are still young to have proper retirement savings, because they are still 25, 34. It's too early to plan for their retirement. So I think there is need more of programs to educate them more and aware more about the savings.
Maybe we should have a more holistic picture of the real thing lah.
Yeah, correct. Because if you talk about the teenagers, or about the young people nowadays, they want to see the figure, the picture, the flow. If we talk about the formula, they are so boring. They got bored easily. So we need to put in the proper picture, like Prof said just now, to help them to have a very proper planning for their retirement. Or else they are lacking of the money for the retirements, and even though currently they are 13% of them, 25 to 34 years old, is having a bankruptcy in early age of life.
Yeah.
Mm.
Great. Yeah. Thank you for your presentation and knowledge sharing. Dr. Nur Fadilah,
Thank you to Prof.
hope you can come up with very useful findings in the future research, to further assist our younger generations. Thank you very much.
Inshallah. All right. Thank you, Prof.
Younger generation, I think the middle age also is facing the same problem.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
All right.
All the best. Thank you. May we invite the next presenter? Hyrin, I have difficulty pronouncing your name. Hyrina Norashikin Sharif. Is that right?
Yeah, Prof.
Oh, okay, great. So you can start your presentation when you're ready.
Thank you, Prof. Okay, I share my slide first. Okay, I hope everyone can see my slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight to discussion. You can go to
Okay. So this is the front page of the slide. Okay.
Wow, great. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning to all. I am Hyrina Norashikin Sharif. And today I'm going to present my research entitled Radiographers' Perspectives on Justifications of Radiographic Procedure in Klang Valley. Okay, for the introduction. Okay, medical imaging is a subspecialization of medicine which deals with the use of various imaging modality such as radiography, CT, and MRI to visualize the internal anatomy of the human body for the purpose of diagnosis and also detections of abnormalities. In the usage of radiation protection, in the usage of ionizing radiation, such as in radiography and also CT, there are risks of malignancy and other radiation-related harm. So in dealing with the use of ionizing radiation, the International Commissions of Radiological Protection has outlined the justification as the principles of radiological protection. It means that any radiological procedure conducted to the patient should yield greater benefit than harm. However, even though we have this kind of justification principle, so there also exists imaging remains that unjustified. So the unjustification may expose patient to additional radiation, and at the same time, it generate avoidable costs and also raise ethical concerns here. So radiographer is the frontline healthcare personnel in dealing with this justification process, because radiographer analyze justification daily, and radiographers actively participate in evaluating the referral from the physician. So in Malaysia, according to the Suruhanjaya Perkhidmatan Awam Malaysia, the job description for radiographer grade U29, currently it is grade U5. Assessing the examination requires for radiographic procedure is not explicitly included in the job descriptions of radiographer grade U29. So this may lead some radiographers to feel less accountable to review the doctor's order. Thus, this study was conducted to explore the experiences in justifying radiographic procedure among radiographers, to examine their perspective regarding justification, and also to identify what are the key challenges they face in carrying out the justification. So for the literature review, justification is to determine whether a requested examination is clinically warranted, whether it is the best test for the patient, and whether a non-ionizing modality could be used instead the ionizing radiation modality. So literature review shows that radiographers across Australia, Indonesia, Rwanda, and also United Kingdom, they engage in the justification process to vet the referral form to prevent unnecessary exposure. So similarly, a study by Rayton et al. Found that 60% of radiographers evaluate justification every day, and 79% of radiographers believe they had obligation to do justification. However, in medical imaging, the unjustification cases occur. A study by Foley et al. Found that less than half of the CT examination in the sample made appropriate justification. It means that the majority of the sample in this study is unjustified. While another study showed that almost half of radiological procedures were unnecessary. So in terms of justification, so poor quality referrals was reported to undermine the process of justification. So the poor quality referral means that lack of specific clinical details, lack clear indication, and lack anatomical site. So organizational pressure also further limit the opportunity for radiographer to exercise justification, particularly in a busy setting. Without structured support, less experienced radiographer may default to perform the examination rather than exercising the critical judgment, which is justification process. So the literature has shown that studies have been conducted in a public and mixed system in Europe, Africa, Australia, but then little is known on the Southeast Asia, especially in Malaysia, and there is also limited qualitative work to study and explore the radiographer's life experience on justification in Malaysia. So for the methodology of this study, it was conducted. It is a qualitative exploratory design using a phenomenological approach conducted in the 3 private hospitals in the Klang Valley, Malaysia. So purposes sampling was used to include those radiographers working in as a diagnostic radiographer, actively involved in clinical imaging, and they are not the administrative staff, and also they have proficient in English. So total 10 radiographers involved in this study. They have experience more than 10 years using some semi-structured online interviews adapted from study by Shilanga and Sitarani. And interview was conducted and transcribed verbatim, analyzed using thematic analysis by using Atlas TI software. And for the results, so the first part of the result, which is to explore the experience in radiographic procedure justification. In this study, all participants reported that they involved across multiple imaging modality, including the general radiography, the CT, MRI, mobile radiography, as well as the C-arm procedure and image intensifier, which is in the operation theatre. Even in this study, the junior radiographers handle more than one modality. And then justification was embedded in their routine workflow. Radiographer described reviewing the requested study and checking patient history before they proceed to perform the examination. And then the participant also described they consider patient-specific factors such as age, clinical status, and ability to cooperate. And they stress out that experience strengthen their justification skills. Okay, one of the participants said that the longer you are in the service, a lot of things you will learn. You will easily identify if the request is actually the correct study for the patient or not. And then the second part of the result, which is to explore their perspective regarding the principle of justification itself. So most of the radiographers consistently frame justification as weighing benefit against the risk. Examination were considered justified only when they were expected to contribute meaningfully to diagnose or treatment to the patient. And then the participant view justification not as part of their professional duty only, but they see justification as an ethical responsibility to protect the patient from unnecessary radiation from the exposure. And then the third part of the result, which is the challenges in justifying radiographic procedure among radiographers. So several issues emerge here. The key issue was limited authority to reject or modify unjustified requests. Some radiographers say that they felt compelled to follow the doctor's order, even when they believe a procedure was unnecessary or inappropriate. So they said that we actually need to follow the doctor's order. So others felt their opinion were often disregarded. As one of the participants said that maybe in 10 times they give their thoughts, just 2 times the doctor listened to us because we don't have power, the authority to say this procedure can do or cannot. And then the next challenges is the communication and referral related issue. Many participants highlight incomplete or inconsistent referral as the major obstacle. So one of the participants says that sometimes the requests are not tally with the indication. So radiographer have to go back to the patient, go back to the requesting doctor, and go back to the radiologist. So despite all these challenges that the radiographers face, participants suggested strategies to strengthen justification, including structural digital referral system that require completions of the key clinical fields and more open communication between radiographers, the radiologist, and also the referrers. Referrers is the physician from various departments in the hospital. Okay, next for the discussion. Okay, the first finding, radiographers routinely review referrals, check clinical histories, and align examination with indication across a broad range of modalities. So this finding confirmed the international evidence that radiographers are deeply embedded in justification process. Although in Malaysia, in the job scope of a radiographer U29, the justification is not included. But then this study shows that even though they are diploma holder, their experience and clinical reasoning reflects a more advanced professional role than that is implied by the technical job description. So the second finding, in terms of the conceptualizations of justification by the radiographer, so they conceptualize justification in terms of the risk benefit assessment and also the ethical duty, which is to protect the patient from unnecessary radiation dose. So this conceptualization is aligned closely with the principle of justification, which has been outlined by the ICRP, and also echoes the evidence linking unjustified imaging with increased cumulative dose and cancer risk. So the third finding, in terms of the limited authority and hierarchical constraint, with some radiographer feeling obliged to perform examination, they consider unnecessary because their opinion were not accepted by referrers. So it is similarly reported in the literature where the radiographer have a feel of conflict. So it discouraged radiographer from challenging the referral. And then in terms of the finding of the communication and documentation issue, difficulty in contacting radiology, the language barrier, poor quality referrals. So the finding in the study echo with the previous finding that incomplete or vague clinical information is a major obstacle to justification and optimization. And then the finding of the junior radiographer feel less confident to question the questionable requires or modify the complex protocol. So this finding reinforced the evidence that structured training, feedback, and mentoring are essential to build referral vetting competence. So in terms of this finding suggests several practical implications. The first, the policy should explicitly recognize and support radiographers' role in vetting the referral form. And then the second implication is to have a request system, particularly digital request system, that require a completion of the key clinical fields before proceeding to the examination. And then the third practical implication is to consider to use a non-ionizing alternative to reduce unnecessary imaging. So the strength of this study is that it's focused on the radiographers in a private hospital in Klang Valley. It is a context that has received little attention in the justification literature. And then the limitation is the sample size is small, only to the 3 private hospitals. Thus, it limits generalizability. So data was self-reported and may be affected by recall bias or social desirability, and interview conducted in English might have constrained some participants. So the future research could adopt a multi-stakeholder design and include public as well as the more private hospitals. So in conclusion, this study found that radiographers are actively and routinely engaged in justification, even though they have the diploma qualification, but they are actively engaged in justification, and they understand justification not only as the professional responsibility, but also the ethical responsibility. At the same time, the barrier that they face, including the limited authority in terms of the communication, poor quality of the referrals, and also variable levels of the experience and training. To strengthen the justifications in Malaysia public hospital, specifically, it requires a coordinated effort to formalize and support radiographers' vetting role in terms of the documentation and also digital request system. And then at a wider level, the result highlight the need for a national dialogue on radiographer scope of practice, clear referral criteria among the multiple disciplines of the healthcare in the professional setting, and integrations of justification principles into the undergraduates and also continuing professional education among radiographers. So by addressing all these areas, it's hoped that it will enhance the practice of justification, because it will reduce unnecessary radiation exposure to the patient, and then to promote ethically grounded radiological service to protect the patient. So that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for your very interesting, useful presentation. Yeah. May I open the for question from the participants? Anyone would like to ask questions? Is a concern to all of us actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a concern for us.
So may I ask Harina, if you can highlight what is the situation in other perhaps more developed countries?
Okay, actually, in a more developed countries, the roles of radiographer is expanding. The training, and then even the qualification in a developed country like the Australia, because Australia is advanced than Malaysia. So even radiographer has the ability to do the reporting, not in Malaysia. So in my perspective, it is about the extending and advancing the roles of radiographer in Malaysia. Currently in Malaysia, the allied health professional, we have the Allied Health Act. It is it's something good to protect radiography in Malaysia, because currently we don't have the board license as a doctor, but currently because we have the Allied Health Professional Act to protect radiographer, so it is something good. But then more to focus in terms of the professional advancements of the role of radiographer itself.
Yeah. Perhaps maybe we can, maybe your finding will help the authority to come up with clear roles, isn't it? These 3 main roles from the doctors, from the radiologists,
actually, it's a radiographer, radiologist, radiographer.
the role and responsibility, and also the communication, maybe
Yeah.
SOP and so on. Are you saying that? Yeah.
Yeah, because we are dealing with those. Sometimes when we every day we deal with those, uh, the sensitivity to the patient, just the concern here is that radiographer just take it as professional responsibility.
Yeah.
So they get the request, they just do it without thinking about those to the patient, how many dose that affect the patient. That is the main concern here.
And many of the patients are not even aware of the alternative, like ionizing.
Yeah, and like
You
the
know that
MRI. Yeah.
this is another alternative that they can use, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Harina. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof.
And I'm sure you will help many more in many more research in the future. Yeah.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Our profession further. Yeah. So thank you. May I invite our next presenter, Dr. Surveyor Dr. Hafizah Ismail, with her presentation, multi-generational housing environment preferences, physical features for quality of life and active aging community in Malaysia. Yeah, it's a mouthful. All the best to you.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Prof. First of all, okay, a very good morning to Prof and the participants of the AicQoL 2026. So my presentation today entitled Multi-Generational Housing Environment Preferences, Physical Features for Quality of Life and Active Aging Community in Malaysia. So basically what I'm trying to do is to determine the physical features, indoor features for quality of life and active aging community in multi-generational housing context. So Malaysia is experiencing a significant demographic shift with elderly population. By the year 2030, 15% out of the total population will coming from the elderly population. So there were expanding aging population and substantial proportion of young adults in Malaysia. Malaysia's demographic transition created increasing demand for housing environment that support varied generational needs. As we know that different generations equipped with different needs and preferences. Research also shows that older adults are more prone to loneliness and isolation as compared to other age groups. This is where the physical features comes in action or shows its significant role in shaping autonomy, comfort, safety, and social interaction for residents all across age group. Understanding how physical housing features influence quality of life and active aging is essential for advancing inclusive planning and design practices in Malaysia. Multi-generational living arrangements have become more common and have gained interest as potential solution due to stringent economic conditions. Right, so move to the problem statement. The older adults are more prone to loneliness and isolation as compared to other age groups. The existing aging framework emphasizes well-being. However, the interdependence generation is overlooked. It is important to look into the area of the interdependence between generation in multi-generational housing living because it shows that how various generations can support each other in one housing or living arrangement, i.e. the multi-generational housing living. Move to the research aim. The research aim of this study is to develop a framework of multi-generational living housing environment preferences, physical feature to cater the quality of life and active aging community in Malaysia. So the objective of the study are, the first objective is to identify the multi-generational preferences. The second objective is to identify the physical features of multi-generational housing environment that support quality of life and active aging in Malaysia. And the third objective is to determine and to develop a framework for physical features of multi-generational housing environment for active aging and healthy aging in Malaysia. Right. Okay. For the literature review, in terms of housing by generations, the priority of focus should be given to based on each generation's needs and preferences. For example, for the baby boomers who are born between 1946 to 1, they prioritize safety, accessibility, and social participation to support aging in place. For Generation X, which were born from 1962 to 76, they prioritize flexible living arrangement that accommodate work responsibilities and caregiving roles. For Generation Y, born between 1977 to 1991, there are growing interests in compact urban dwellings to work, social activities, and amenities. For Generation Z, which were born 1992 to 2006, they emphasize privacy, flexibility, affordability, and technology integration in housing environment. So from this, it shows that different generations, the needs of between generations in terms of housing, with clear understanding and well-planned housing provisions, the generation can live together and be dependent and support each other in one housing living environment. All right, so the basic model for this study is the quality of life and active aging. The quality of life. The quality of life influenced by physical health, psychological well-being, social relationship, and environmental factors. So in the quality of life model, it shows that three main items that support the quality of life of living of people are physical, psychological, and social relationship in one environment. Okay, quality of life reflects a person's ability to engage in daily activities and achieve satisfaction across multiple generations. Okay. Housing that enhance quality of life typically incorporates supportive features such as adaptable layouts, safe circulation, paths, fit for purpose, and communal space. Quality of life reflects person's ability to engage in daily activities and achieve satisfaction across multiple dimensions. The second concept is on active aging. Active aging is a holistic approach that encourages older individuals to remain physically active, but at the same time socially engaged and economically productive. It focuses on accessible areas which encourage physical activity and social connection among the elderly. The active aging and aging in place are interconnected concepts that emphasize the ability of older adults to maintain independence, whereby at the same time can participate in society and enhance their overall well-being while remaining in their preferred living environment.
Fiza, you have 5 minutes.
Right. So these are the methodology. So from the literature review, we conduct qualitative, then pilot study and quantitative, and then data analysis and develop framework. So for this presentation, I will focus more on quantitative findings. All right. Okay. So these are the steps which begin with qualitative, pilot study, and quantitative. Right. So the findings here, it shows that the number one rank, the participants rank accessibility and walkability as their first rank of preference for multi-generational housing. Okay, this shows that indicates that relevance of safe and accessible circulation to support both aging parents and young children. Right. The physical features and residential development needs to consider universal design concept and encourage the mobility residents and particularly the elderly. The second preferred features are assisted technology integration in multi-generational housing. Right. So this shows that technology-enabled safety features were highly valued among generations, particularly as it can help to reduce caregiving burdens and enhance independence for older adults. This shows the acceptance on the importance of smart home technology in multi-generational housing living environment. The third preference is on the communal areas, right? So this shows that the generation value the place and shared activity family bonding, and social engagement. A living environment should not only encourage resident participation, but also prove enhanced and well-maintained communal facilities to increase opportunities for social gathering and support active aging on overall well-being. And the fourth, finally, is on personal privacy. Okay, this shows the fourth preferences among all of the multi-generational living environment preferences. All right. This shows that suggests that residents still place considerable value on having access to individual spaces that allow for personal time, autonomy, and emotional regulation. Okay. So these are the detail of the findings for overall. As we know that the first preference is on accessibility and walkability, the second one on assisted technology integration, the third one on communal areas, and the fourth one on personal privacy. These are the evidences on the similarity of the rank placed by different generations. So as a conclusion, there is importance to understand the needs and preferences of multi-generational housing, which are crucial to support interdependency between generations. The multi-generational living support the interdependency by generation that they can live with one living environment and support each other. All right, there are significant, this multi-generational housing living is significant for the planning policies in fostering resilient, inclusivity, health promoting life environment, right, together with the technology-enabled environment. All right, this study focused only on the physical elements. So for future studies, we could further study could look into the social elements or outside elements for the multi-generational housing living. Future housing development should adopt a holistic approach that combines physical features with social features, foster meaningful interaction, independence, and aging in place for multi-generational living housing environment setting. Right, that's all for now. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fiza. Very interesting presentation. I would like to open again to the participants for questions. Any question for you? Very interesting topic. I saw Nurlisa there. I'd like to ask question, Dr. Nurlisa. Sally, Dr. Sally.
Yeah,
Dr. Sally, yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. So it's a very interesting research. So please allow me to giving one of the questions. So I saw that from your findings, there's some of the graphic that showing every generation they have their own preferential to the how they're living and how the vocabulary and everything. But when I see there is the graphic that showing, there is a similarity of the generation X with the generation Z. Yeah. So what did you found according to these findings? There's interesting to see there is a boomers levels with the generation Y. They have some of the similarities looks quite higher if we compare to the generation X and also the generation Z. I think that is my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Okay. So based on this, the findings on the questionnaire, we assess the quality of life level satisfaction before, and then we give the question on the multi-generational living housing environment features which can support the active aging and quality of life. So from the current situation now, it shows that the baby boomers and Gen Y are satisfied with their living environment. However, there might be some low indication of housing satisfaction between Generation X and Z, showing that they support the needs for further embedment of other features to be made in housing for multi-generational housing work. For example, Gen X, they favor there must be a need for smart home integration, same with Generation Z. So the divergence of level of satisfaction showing that what are the other elements needed to be filled in for multi-generational living environment in terms of the opinion from the younger generation as compared to the older generations.
Does that answer your question, Sally?
Yes, thank you, Prof.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Fiza. Thank you, great. Any more questions? Very interesting topic, close to most of our hearts. Yeah, Prof. Dr. Gita, I saw you.
Yeah, hi.
On your camera. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. Very interesting topic. Thank you very much, Dr. Hafiza. I only had one question because I've done a bit of studies in the similar area. So, what is your suggestion or recommendation to future house builders? Because you come from that faculty, right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting because the baby boomers are looking more into the bathroom and the walkways, right? That's what we are there. I'm also there. So what was your findings, Doctor?
All right. For example, nowadays, if you're looking into the housing developers, they claim that their project are for multi-generational. However, only certain features, basic features, are offered into the development. For example, if I can see only the wide spaces for the wheelchair circulation and so on and so forth. Currently, in Malaysian context, when one claiming on their project is multi-generational context, there are no one specific regulation or requirement to be as a cross-checked, right? So with this study, we could take out what are the physical elements. Physical, that means indoor elements for the housing itself. Indoor elements, the universal design elements what are needed, a must for one to claim that their project are multi-generational housing. And outside of the house, which is the social elements, what are the features needed. So someone cannot claim their project as a multi-generational just because they provide spaces for the toilets only. Okay, so there must be, from this research, we can produce or recommend, okay, these are the items needed for social and physicals and so on. They can promote or evolve to the guidelines for items for multi-generational features for social and physical elements.
Thank you.
Does that answer question, Prof?
Yes, Prof. Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank
Nice
you very
seeing
much.
you on stage today. Thank you, Dr. Hafiza.
Thank you.
All the best.
I'm sure there will be plenty more questions to be asked on this very interesting topic, but time is not on our side. So I'm afraid we have to thank you again, Dr. Hafiza and everyone. May I invite the last presenter, Imelda Teo Rezwan, with your paper, Regulating Algorithmic Management on Digital Labor Platforms in Malaysia. Lessons from the United Kingdom. Oh, fantastic topic. Yeah, please, you may start now.
Okay, so good morning to Prof and all participants. My name is Imelda Teo from University Technology Malaysia. So today I will be presenting our study title, Regulating Algorithmic Management on Digital Labor Platform in Malaysia, Lesson from United Kingdom. So conducted together with my co-authors, Dr. Siti Suraya Abdul Razak and Loh Ying Tuan. Okay, so let me begin with some context. Digital labor platforms have rapidly reshaped labor market worldwide, including Malaysia, and are now largely governed by algorithms that decide work allocation, pay, performance, and even continued access to work. So although platform work is often praised for flexibility, growing evidence highlights serious concern about transparency, fairness, and worker protection, with real consequences for income security, mental well-being, and access to justice. This is significant in Malaysia, where the platform economy is valued at RM 1.33 billion and 100,000 new workers joined by Q3 2023, meaning many livelihoods are shaped by opaque algorithmic system. Unlike the United Kingdom, which has begun introducing safeguard through court ruling, data protection law, and ethical guidance, Malaysia still lack comparable protection. Therefore, this study benchmarked the UK to identify practical lessons for building a fairer, more transparent, and accountable regulatory framework. So now, this brings us to the core problem. First, digital platforms are largely governed by algorithms that decide tasks, pay, and performance, yet many of these systems lack strong ethical oversight, leading to opaque and one-sided decisions. Second, Malaysia labor law were designed for traditional employment. When platform workers are classified as independent contractors, algorithmic control often falls outside meaningful legal protection. Third, although Malaysia has introduced data protection and AI initiative, most are still partial and non-binding, so they do not create enforceable rights. Finally, this gap have real consequences. Evidence shows 62% of platform workers experience income loss, instability, and psychological stress. This highlights the urgent needs for stronger and more accountable regulating of algorithmic management. So to explore this, a qualitative content analysis approach was used. The analysis focused on benchmarking Malaysia against the United Kingdom to understand how each jurisdiction governs algorithmic management in digital labor platforms. So the study examined law, court decision, policy documents, official guidelines, and academic literature, ensuring depth and credibility. The analysis centered on 4 key dimensions: algorithmic transparency, accountability mechanism, employment classification, and access to redress. Together, these help assess what lesson Malaysia can learn from the UK. So moving on to the finding and discussion. So in the United Kingdom, key lesson concern employment classification. The landmark Uber BV versus Aslam 2021 decision recognized that strong algorithmic control creates worker dependency. Because of that, drivers were classified as workers and granted protections such as minimum wage, paid leave, and rest rights. However, the situation is not always consistent in the UK because several cases such as the Leviro case, riders were treated as independent contractor. This shows that classification outcome can still vary and remain fragmented. The second key lesson relates to algorithmic transparency. The UK's Data Protection Act 2018, which aligned with GDPR, particularly Article 22, limits fully automated decision. It is also gives worker the right to explanation and human review. These protections are reinforced through strong guidance from the Information Commissioner's Office. Finally, Prof, sorry, is this blocking the slide? Is this image blocking the slide? Okay.
We can see.
Okay. So finally, the UK complements legal protection with ethical governance. Initiatives such as Centre of Data Ethics and Innovation, the 2022 AI White Paper, and the ICO AI Auditing Framework promotes fairness, accountability, transparency, and contestability. Together, these measures show how legal safeguard and ethical framework can work hand in hand to constrain platform workers and better protect for workers. So moving on to the next slide is Malaysia context. Okay, so in Malaysia context, however, looks a little, I would say quite different. Labor protection is still shaped by a strict distinction between a contract of service and a contract for service. In practice, platform workers are usually classified as independent contractors, meaning they exclude from most statutory rights. This is clear in Loh Guat Ching versus My Taxi, where the court treated relationship as commercial, denying employment remedies. This showed that the current framework struggled to recognize the dependent and hybrid nature of platform workers. Next, Malaysia has also introduced ethical AI guidance through the AIGE framework, promoting fairness, transparency, accountability. However, it is non-binding with no legal obligation for platform to explain argumentization or provide appeal mechanism. So, although awareness exists, protection remain largely aspirational, leaving platform workers vulnerable with limited avenues for redress. Okay, as you can see here is the comparative synthesis of regulatory approach to algorithmic management in UK and Malaysia. So based on this table, the United Kingdom has a more structured and protective approach to regulating algorithmic management. If you look at this table shown here, the UK recognizes worker dependency, requires greater transparency, and provide clearer grievance pathway. In contrast, Malaysia still relies on rigid classification, lacks binding transparency rules, and depends heavily on voluntary ethics. Overall, the UK framework is more coherent, whereas Malaysia remains fragmented and offer weakened protection for platform workers. So, based on the comparison, there's five key reforms are important for Malaysia. And the first recommendation that this study can give is we need to clarify how platform workers are classified. The current system is too rigid for work controlled by algorithm. Creating a middle category like a dependent contractor can recognize that workers are still dependent on platform while allowing some flexibility. Second, algorithmic transparency need to be regulated. Platforms should be required to explain how the system decides pay, rating, and deactivation. Workers should also have the right to human review when automated decisions affect their livelihood. Third, grievance and complaint mechanism must be stronger. Platform workers need easy, fair, and independent way to challenge unfair or automated decision, not system controlled solely by the platform.
Yeah.
Fourth, Malaysia need to move from voluntary ethics to enforceable rules. Ethical guidance are good, but without legal force, they do not truly protect workers. Finally, we need coordinated and flexible oversight. Labor authorities, data protection regulators, and digital governance bodies must work together so that protection keeps up with technological change. Together, this reform offers a realistic way for Malaysia to balance innovation with fairness, dignity, and security for platform workers.
Thank you very much, Imelda.
Sorry, Prof. Last slide.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So this study contributes to labor regulation and digital governance by examining how algorithmic management is governed in Malaysia, using the United Kingdom as a benchmark. By identifying gap in protection, transparency, and accountability, it is highlight key regulatory weaknesses and offer policy direction to strengthen worker safeguard. More broadly, it supports the development of more ethical, transparent, and human-centered governance of digital labor platform. Last but definitely not least, innovation must not come at the expenses of dignity and fairness. Malaysia now needs enforceable protection, not just aspirations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very, very important presentation.
Yes.
Very important. I can open for question from the participant, although we have exceeded time a little bit. Any question from participant for very interesting question? Presentation? Or may I ask Imelda if you...
Yes.
If you look at law in Malaysia, I think that governs workers' rights. We have number of law or act.
Yes, correct.
Example, we have Employment Act 1955.
Correct.
Setting the minimum wages and so on. Yeah, and then we
Yes.
have the Industrial Relations Act 1967, and
Yes.
also we have OSHA, isn't it? Occupational
Yes.
Safety Health Act and all that. So we have many acts. Yeah? Do you think we need to embed this within the existing act, or we need to create a new act that covers all this?
I think like since we already have a lot of act to govern the to govern the employment, so I think we just have to embed in existing. Yes, we don't have to create one new because it will take a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of research to do to create one new law.
Yes.
It's not easy to create one new law. I believe that everyone knows that.
Yeah.
So
Is this what the UK people are doing? Is that
Yes, correct. Yes, correct. The UK people actually, based on the cases, such as the one that I mentioned just now about the Uber.
Yeah.
The Uber, yes. Actually, they classify the workers as classify digital platform workers as workers under Uber based on the case law case Uber BV versus Aslam 2021.
Yeah.
But then, as for UK, there's some lackness, I would say, because only Uber drivers are governed under this law.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Other than that, other platform doesn't govern under this law.
Yeah.
So,
I think the situation is evolving across the world.
Yes.
Very important indeed. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm afraid we have to stop here.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much, everyone.
Again, yeah. So Imelda, thank you everyone. Yeah, for very interesting knowledge sharing. I would say I'm fascinated by it. I'm sure everyone would benefit from it. We had a very engaging session. Yeah, wonderful presentations and reflects the fascination of the merging of multidisciplinary knowledge. Yeah, and in fact, this will benefit most of us in our professions and of course the nation as a whole and the world at large. Yeah. Thank you again, Prof. Thank you again, participants. Yeah. May I hand over the session to Professor Yusof. Thank you again.
Thanks, Prof. Hadi, for very interesting and awakening morning. Quite interesting topic and quite lively discussion. Thanks again for sharing your session.
Yeah.
I'm trying to admit our next breakout chair. It's taking a lot of time to let him in. Prof, the usual after the session.
Yeah, I will do it. Yeah, no problem.
Right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Prof.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam. May I leave?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Just bear with us. Our next breakout chair is trying to get into the room.